celebration greetings to all and sundry. My special greetings to all Amazonians on ground zero, ground one, ground two, ground three, and Amazonians all over the world. Special greetings to our Amazonians in Asia, specifically in Japan, and to those also in the United Arab Emirates. I know, despite being that far in those faraway countries, in those faraway regions of the world, you are doing everything it takes to be part of this very important liberation movement, and your contributions are absolutely unparalleled. So I just wanted to heap a great salute to you all because often we have concentrated our focus on North America, Western Europe, and then we talk ground zero, ground one, ground two, and then we talk our prisoners of war. We have really scarcely taken the opportunity to, send special greetings to Southern Cameroonians, to Amazonians in Asia, that's in Japan, in China, the United Arab Emirates, and all those other parts of the world, all those other regions of the world. So accept special salutes from me, Comrade John Akuro. Today is a Sunday, and today is the third day of the month of December. The year is to 2023. So, in a matter of 28 days, this year will be ending and we will be moving to 2024. My wish and my prayer is that we will all be able to make it into the new year 2024. So that said, I want to welcome everybody here on this platform today, where we will be continuing our very important discussion started in the last, in my last communication on the stratégie de conservation du pouvoir au Cameroon by the Betty clan, and of course the plans by the governing hegemony in La République du Cameroon to perpetuate their stay in Amazonia and make us slaves for life. But I'll actually be delving in other parts of this very important document. And as I said earlier, and I've received a lot of calls from people requesting a copy of this document. The document will absolutely be made public, early this week. So, folks, and again, don't forget, some of you might even already have seen it sometimes. I might not have meant just anything, but again, trust me, we might have seen snippets, not the entire document as what I have in my hands here. And so it's important always that we take an opportunity to, review such. Because as I say, this is not just the truth that is being exposed. This is the evil that has been planned against us for ages that is being exposed. And I'm sure a good lot of us who are watching this show once in a while recognize your role. That is, you discover yourself in the role they expected you to play, and they have been using you to play in making sure that our lives, our collective future is destroyed, just so that they are able to continue to lord it over us and to stay in power in their country. So this is really, really important for us. Before I move ahead in this show, my country people them for ground zero, particularly they want them for Kumba. Well, I say particularly the one them for Kumba, for Victoria, we'll call her Limbe, all these parts. I want to take this opportunity first again for go back for this picture way I be show am the other day. I've just say, may we take specific note. You see, I don't talk about this time where they tell you, say, make you go walk on country Sunday. Because breaking tomorrow, the 4th of December, now we country Sunday. When they climb on your head, climb on everything, say, go walk for country Sunday, so that they will give you this time, so that you will use and work for the rest of the week. Because if you know, they know if you work. I they reiterate. When I say reiterate, means I they shout them again, over and over, so that makes some man no talk, say, be getting that information, say, be sensitized. No make no mistake. As you go climb for your bed, you just sleep this night. Because I know, say, now already past 10 p.m. for Amberland. As you decline for sleep for your bed tonight, think very well about your little family where they depend on you. Think very well about the future of that picking the way the day where you dey fight so to work hard so na for ensure say may they be better people tomorrow. Think very well about every other person for the community where they dey look up to you like some person. Think very well about prisoners of war where they dey for Kondengi, they dey for New Bell, they dey for prison for Boya, they dey for prison for Bamenda, they dey for prison for Mfu, they dey for prison for Nkonsamba, they dey for prison for Cholere, they dey for prison for all sides. Think about all those people. But most especially as I talk, think about yourself, your life, your woman, your picking the way they deal with you right now. No put yourself for harm's way. No carry yourself, come off for road, you end up when you no go back, you destroy the future of all the people the way they depend on you. And then you lost your life too. Because I talk, my concern na the safety of the civilian population. No make La Republic use you for take and fight the war. Because you mean nothing for La Republic. La Republic, as I talk 2 days ago, La Republic make clear, say, as far as this war be concerned, they don't care about the number of lives lost. We mean so they don't care about your life. They don't care about my life. They don't care about we lives. So why you go for go sacrifice your life because you fear say some stupid person wey dey call himself SDO Ndong Gerard, he go talk say he go deny say make you no work. I don't make am clear. Than for you for go lost your life, pack that bike even for the next 2 weeks. You go be able for still gain benefit from the solidarity of the community for feed you are picking them until everything come back to order. No make mistake with your life. No make mistake with your life because of this toy. It not be necessary at all. So I don't talk and I don't repeat them. No make mistake with your life. We country Sunday be sacrosanct. We country Sunday be sacrosanct. No stand in the way of we own freedom, of we own future, of the future of we all picking them to come. I don't talk. And now, folks, I also want to address a very interesting issue. Someone sent a message to me from Limbe about 4 days ago. That was prior to this football match that took place between the players of La République du Cameroon, that they are the ones who played the AFCON of 2000 in Nigeria, where they defeated Nigeria in Lagos at the Surulere Stadium. And you recall that I think it was Nelson Ikpeba or whatever Ikpeba who hit his shot and it actually went in, and he himself thought that he had lost it and put his hands on the head, and the referee validated it, and that is how they lost the match. So while the people of La Republic were saying that the encounter was a gala match just to bring back memories of that time and reborn of those people, the Nigerian players who were coming to Limbe to play that match to Victoria made videos and said they were coming to play for the return of peace in Cameroon. They were coming to play for the return of peace. So you see the conflict in interpretation. I'm tended to believe the Nigerian players more because, that is what they were told. That is definitely what was used to convince them to come, and that is definitely what informed the choice of Victoria for that encounter. But as manipulative as La République du Cameroun is, they try to give us a different interpretation and try to deviate the minds of the people, definitely because they feared about disruption. Of course, the match was largely boycotted. I saw images even from those who do not like our interest, who were not able to take pictures that will hide the emptiness of the football arena. But that's not exactly what happened. That's not exactly what attracts my attention to this. What attracts my attention to this is that, again, as usual, these Nigerian soccer stars fell prey to what La République du Cameroon is really known for. Always. They all came not to play for peace, they were coming for money. And that's what La République du Cameroon is. ready to spend all the money that they can that they can use to better the lot of the people, to spend it to bribe every mind to push their evil and stupid narrative. But of course, as always, they end up duping even those who fall prey to their to their exploitations. Look at what happened. Most of those Nigerian players are still in their hotels in Douala. Why? Because they were expecting to be paid $5,000 each for their participation. That's close to 3 million CFA francs, each of them, for their participation. But right up to the moment that I was coming onto this broadcast, they had not yet received a dime. And frustration is growing. La République du Cameroon, in their frenzy to continue to, play around the intelligence of the world and also play with the emotions and the future of the people of Ambazonia, will continue to ruin itself. Not only financially, it will continue to destroy its own image internationally. I use this tribune to urge any international figure, when La République du Cameroon reaches out to you, to come and help them to promote the enslavement of the people of the former UN Trust Territory, British Southern Cameroons, of Ambazonia. Be sure that when you fall cheap to that, you will be duped at the end of the day. And also, put this deep in your mind. The people of Ambazonia, Southern Cameroonians, we know what we want, and we will get it. Come rain, come shine. I say we will get it. It's just a matter of time. We will get it. Nothing will stop us. So don't come throw yourself at the mercy of La République du Cameroon in efforts to try and drown our hopes and aspirations. We as a people, we have generally supported people around the world who are fighting for their freedom. And therefore, we expect from the rest of the world simply an understanding. If you can't support us, at least don't become an obstacle. Don't become an instrument in the hands of imperialist France and colonial La République du Cameroon to keep the people of the Southern Cameroons, aka Ambazonia, under permanent subjugation. It will be in our interest, all of us, and especially yours. So, my people of Ambazonia, that said, let's move into the beef of our discussion. It came to pass that somewhere in 1982, and on the 6th of November, there was some power change in La République du Cameroon. And, there was a huge wave of songs, of music everywhere. People looked at a 47-year-old, fair-looking man, Paul Biya, and all kinds of songs came out at the time as children who were drafted into this and who were duped into singing some stupid songs that today some of us regret so strongly that we ever used our lips to sing those kind of songs, like I saw Paul Biya in the new country. Like every people were screaming everywhere until our phones were drafted into taking the idiot and naming him Fun of Funds. But look at what happened. The heavens don't lie. Signs don't lie. Signs of the times are always very strong. They don't lie. At that time, I was a young man. I was a child. When I say I was a young man, it's like I was so big. I was a child. And I was in primary 4. I had just gone to primary 4 in Bengui. I had just gone to primary 4 in Government Bilingual Primary School in Bengui. GBPS in Bengui. Good. That's not far away from Bonn in Bengui. That November. And at that time, my father had just been transferred from Bafoussam, where I was working and where I was studying before, to Bengui. That November, when Biya took over, people expressed hopes. But nature, the heavens, started revealing immediately to the people that this journey you are starting is a journey to barren land. Nobody paid heed. Nobody paid any attention. Nobody even took note. But as a child, I can recall that my late father and mother, we often got up at 4 a.m. in the morning and would start moving into the bushes, far off bushes in Bengui to look for water. That was somewhere already around March in 1983, April 1983. If anyone can recall, Paul Biya's accession to power in La République du Cameroon was immediately accompanied by a drought, a long dry season that had not been known in the land for a long time. That's a sign nobody took note of. That evil was settling on the land, that barrenness was settling on the land, that trouble was on the way. The rains only came to around June or July of 1983. It was terrible. I mean, terrible. What a welcome to power. The signs of the times don't lie. As I'm saying now, I'm sure that a good lot of people can raise their brains now and recall this particular period, 1983 to 1984. That's 1982 to 1983. As soon as Paul Biya took power, that is what happened. And then when I take this occurrence, I add it to the stories that my late mother always told us. Because we're Catholics from origin, she always told us about the prophecies of the late Archbishop Ndomo, or they used to call him Bishop Ndomo, that he said, even when he was being sent on exile in 1975 by Ahijo, and he said, this Ahijo who is torturing me and kicking me out of my country, he's a dictator, he's a bad man, but this Ahijo is developing this country, and he will develop this country again. He will be better than his successor. He said, the person who will take over from Ahijo will destroy the entire foundation, everything that Ahijo has done, destroy it until to a non-recognizable level. And that the transition between this president and the next will be marked, that if care is not taken, will be marked by a bloody war, and the country may even separate. The older people among us who lived this moment, because I recall all of this because my late mother, we had a lot of interactions with our parents as young children, and my late mother was the one that repeated this over and over as she was expressing her apprehensions about this man who was going to take the country to the worst direction ever. The evidence on the ground today is loud, clear, and speaks for itself. Which part of that country has anything? And to show that it is not just failure, that it is deliberate, it is the demon himself that descended from hell to settle down here. That is why they have to take time and document how to destroy and underdevelop a people. And while they are doing that, they get some parrots like this one, and they come and tell us that it is God that sent him. Am I lying, my brother Ashunyanti?
Paul Biya, the helm of the state CAF. This president is our greatest marksman. He is our principal goal scorer. He has always taken us out of very difficult situations. First, because of his immense wisdom. Second, because of his aura and international clout. Those who meet President Paul Biya for the first time are out and bow in reverence, in respect for his profound knowledge. President Paul Biya is a blessing to this country. Cameroonians, we are lucky. We are made because we have Paul Biya, the helm of the state.
Yes, that's very true. Cameroonians are lucky. Cameroonians are blessed, Ashunyanti. Cameroonians are made because the demon himself came down from hell. Lucifer in person came down from hell to settle in that country and to put it where it is, and could have parrots like you to call desolation, to call torture, to call misery, to call a bloody regime a blessing. That is what it really has been. So, without much ado, let's go back to dissecting our document, uh, les stratégies de conservation du pouvoir de génération en génération par le régime Biya RDPC. Today, I really want to delve into some very important aspects of this document. And like I said, this document will be shared, uh, first to some special people by tomorrow morning, and then in the course of the week, everywhere. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be shared to all our activists, to all our media platforms, to all our social media platforms, so that we should be able to let every single Southern Cameroonian, Ambazonian, our Bamileke neighbors, our Douala or Bassa neighbors, our our friends in northern Cameroon, to know in what pot the Biya system is cooking everyone. But most especially for our people of Ambazonia to understand that any form of association with La République du Cameroun will mean delivering our children under the power of limitation. Nobody does that. You don't want to deliver a child who comes out of the mother's tummy with a big stone already standing on that child's head to make sure the child will never ever attain their divine destiny. That is a heresy, and that is something we cannot swallow. You see, people have shared with me profusely a video by one lunatic in Boya called Moja Moja. That calls himself Chief Moja Moja. And I've refused to give Moja Moja the pleasure of playing his gibberish on this set. But I rather prefer to talk a little about it in relation to the documents that I have in my hands. But while I get there, let's go to one aspect of this very important document. You look at this, where you see top secret, the protocol. What he says down there, because I read the first part up there, he says, pour les événements du 22 septembre. I've already talked about that. It says, chaque membre de notre tribu, that's the Beti et Kambulu tribe, de notre tribu doit faire initier un de ses enfants à qui il devra transmettre ce protocole sous la forme d'héritage confidentiel à circuler de père en fils pour l'éternité. Very important to know. That's what you see. That is on the second paragraph of this page I'm displaying here. That this very important document to them will, every family of the Beti clan will make sure one of their sons that is initiated, that's what they say, chaque membre de notre tribu doit faire initier un de ses enfants, will get one of their children initiated, to whom will be transmitted this particular protocol that I am talking about as a form of confidential inheritance. That's what they say, sous forme d'héritage confidentiel, à circuler de père en fils pour l'éternité. To circulate from father to son for eternity. And NB, prière de savoir que je n'ai pas de haine contre une tribu quelconque, même pas contre celle de tel père, tel fils. So, this is a very important revelation in this document. Just so we know that is not something that is being done for now just to maintain a certain system in place for a certain period of time, or just to maintain us, the people of Ambazonia, under slavery and servitude for a certain period of time. They are looking at it from the framework ad infinitum. And c'est disposition générale. C'est nous avons la chance de faire partie de la tribu des initiés nationaux, car nous sommes une composition de toutes les tribus. That they are very lucky to find themselves as, to be members of the initiated tribe, like the chosen tribe. That's what they want to say, the chosen tribe. And that is why they are claiming that their chosen tribe is a composition of all the other tribes in the country, so they must be happy. So they say, notre conservation du pouvoir exige que nous fassions remplacer par nos descendants. Et pour cela, ils doivent être presque les seuls dans les grandes écoles ouvrant à la gestion politique du pays. Did someone hear that? That's what you see there, Article 2. C'est notre conservation du pouvoir exige que nous nous fassions remplacer. That is to conserve power, to keep power, and to make sure they subdue everybody. They have to ensure that every person who is at the top there will ensure that they are replaced by their sons. Sounds familiar? That by their descendants. They are replaced by their descendants, not just sons, by their descendants. And they say, and to do that, et pour cela, ils doivent être presque les seuls dans ces grandes écoles ouvrant à la gestion politique du pays. Reason for which their children should be almost the only ones admitted to all the grandes écoles. When they talk the grandes écoles, they mean the main training schools that give room, that give access to the management of the politics of the country. You know those schools, right? Go and take the admission. That people crying on social media video, oh, the results of ENAM have come out, and you just look everywhere. Ondwa, Ondwa, Mvogo, Onana. In short, Mvondo. Only them. And people scream. It is deliberate. It is policy. And that's why they are not shy about it. That's why they are not joking about it. They are implementing it. And while they are doing it, you have the so-called elite from the other areas, especially from the southern Cameroons, being made to become marionettes, and they pass around, open their dirty fangs like what they call a vache qui rit. That's exactly what is going on. What that period in Banga said, Momo de lap, Ndiba de Kelly, il check si de contrôler situation en su. That's exactly what we are talking about here. Folks, it's enormous work for me to sit down to put together all of those things to share here. But I am not worried to spend this time, to sacrifice this time, energy, and resources. Even if in return, sometimes I get insults to transmit this. Because I don't want anyone to say tomorrow that they were not sensitized to the effect that a bunch of people had settled somewhere and planned how to make sure they manipulate our lives. They take total control of our future, the future of our children and our children's children, that they capture them and keep them under subjugation for life. This is what it is. That's why you see in schools like Eric, if you have 20 people admitted in diplomacy, for example, who will manage the diplomacy of the country? Of those 20, at least 14 are from the Beti Ekambulu tribe. The remaining 6 will be shared across. And then for Southern Cameroonians, sometimes 1 or 2, and we scream all we like. For the Bamilekes, alors je te les dans la poubelle. They give them a school like Polytechnique, allez-vous débrouiller là-bas. That is why we look at schools like EMIA, where you have senior officers in the military. You don't even have an idea exactly how the entrance is managed. The entrance examination is managed. So they close the circle. You see that when it comes to, because I'll get to education. Let me not even get there yet. But it opens up on some professions. You see that even private initiatives are quickly put under control, nationalized, to make sure while people are blocked at public avenues, they don't have private avenues, private initiatives that can provide the emancipation they don't want you and I to have. It's deliberate. It is clearly outlined in this protocol. And then you see, they say Debeti. I will not go to Debeti. Next, because my ambition at this point is to get to what Moja Moja said. Moja Moja says in his outing that the Bamileke people are the ones that bought him a car and are providing him and his boys all the means he requires to go out there and decimate the people of the northern zone. Because that's what it is. He says he's clear about it. They don't pretend about it. And when he says Amber, Moja Moja has never minced his words. And sometimes these truths are brutal and we must face them as they are. And so, when he says that it is the Bamileke people who bought him the car and that his own people were not interested, and he's lauding the Bamileke people for providing him the means to buy that car to decimate us, I laugh. Some say, although it's from a lunatic, it may just be that kind of manipulation. Don't forget that earlier on in this liberation movement, Adolphe Lele Lafrique, the Ben Chofo, had held top secret meetings with Bamileke people in Bamenda, with the entire Bamileke business community. All those people, Amou Mezam, that is what Amou Mezam, the people of Guarantee, the people of Poissonnerie, Poissonnerie, whatever, and all of those things. Is it Kojefa? In short, all of those top Bamileke people in Bamenda. And cause them to contribute financially to assist the military of La République du Cameroon to kill our people, to burn down our villages, to roast our places. That's why the question has often come up as to why is it that when these people go burning houses, raising down places, they don't ever touch the houses. Even they come in the neighborhood where there are Bamileke people there or not, there is a selection of the houses that they burn. Do you recall the pastor, our man of God, on that day that La République du Cameroon stormed the Mbengue Road because an armored car was exploded? And they were burning down stores, burning down houses, even burnt some people in the houses. They went to a pastor's house and they had already taken his son dead outside and were about to kill him when the pastor came out. And then they said he had spoken in French. When the pastor spoke in French, they said, oh, il parle même français. And the pastor related this. The video is still on social media. He said, il parle même français. They let it be. It is because of this. So while the Betis know that they have scores to settle with the Bamilekes, with the Nordists, with the whatever, they are ready to use one tribe against the other. And the Bamilekes often think that they are too smart and they end up being manipulated in this fashion, and everybody turned against them. Because unknown to the Bamileke people, it is in the interest of La République du Cameroon that the people of the southern Cameroons see the Bamileke people as the problem number one. I think it's something they don't know. If you're a Bamileke man, Bamileke woman, put it inside your head first that the most important thing for the CPD and government, for the Beti Bulu Ekan clan, is to make sure that the people of the southern Cameroon see you, the Bamileke people, as a big problem, as even the main problem. And that is why often they have taken Bamileke people who speak English, who did the Anglo-Saxon educational system, and appointed to the assistant positions that usually are reserved for Southern Cameroonians. And they do that deliberately. You want to now look at the example of Francis Ngemenyewete. The Republic system knew that he was Bamileke. When they appointed him Deputy Director General of CRTV and said un anglophone, un nommé là-bas, they made sure they impressed on Francis Wete To unleash his middle name that he always made a mystery by keeping the N a mystery to become government name. Because he was born and bred in Kumba. They made sure that he had to go to Bangua and celebrate, thank the head of state there, so that Southern Cameroonians can see that although this man speaks English is not one of ours, they have used him to take something that belongs to us. That puts us on a collision course with the Bamileke people. They don't know this. And they sit and think that they are lording over us. No. Mumu the lap, Diba the Kelly. The same thing they did with Jomo Kevin. When they appointed him station manager of Mount Cameroon FM, he was the first that appointed them. No, was it? No, Paula, yeah. Was it Paula? No, I think in Mount Cameroon FM in Biya. Mount Cameroon FM. At that time, they actually called his other name that had not usually been called. It was even Jomo Kevin now called him Camden. I recall. And they made a lot of fuss and noise about it. The same thing they did with Tomdio Ngako. Yeah, the same thing they did with Tomdio Ngako when they named him Minister of Water and Energy, Minister of Water Resources and Energy. He was born and bred in Tico. Why the people of Tico was there like, oh, Tomdio Ngako is our man. Oh my goodness, we have had Ngako, who had never been to Bafang, had to go to Bafang, struggling to find out which village he came from and who his family members were, so that I could do a homecoming to please be deliberate. These things are being exposed to us today because God has a program for everything that must end. And I'm saying this so that these Bamileke people put it in your head. Every stone you are throwing at Ambazonia, every stone you are throwing at Southern Cameroons, you are throwing it against yourself. Don't forget that when the La République du Cameroon governing class was carrying out the Bamileke genocide, Ambazonia, the Southern Cameroons, opened the borders, absorbed Bamileke people. At the time, we were not yet in any form of union with La République du Cameroon. They opened up, absorbed the Bamileke people. That's why you have another one even there in Mendankwe, Bamenda, for Sangom, calling himself chief in Bamenda. In Bamendankwe, calling himself chief. He was born and bred there. Because we opened the borders, opened our doors, welcomed them, gave them our daughters, our sisters to marry, rescued them from the genocide by La République du Cameroon. Today, La République du Cameroon is using the same Bamileke people to try and destroy our aspirations. And the Bamileke people allow themselves to be used. Because for them, they feel that we need to do this because La République du Cameroon gives them the veiled impression that they can allow them to tap all the economic benefits in our land just so that they are projected as the problem. I've mentioned the list is long, and I can go on that list over and over and over and over for your edification. But let's move on, because like I said, on Bamilekes is here. The document says the Bamileke, there where I am now, I guess I might have taken the wrong slot. Let me get the right one. The Bamileke. Yeah, this should be the Bamileke slot. Is this one? Yes. Great, that's where we are. The Bamileke. I'm coming here. I decided to start up here so that you understand what Moja is doing out there. They say, nous devons diviser et opposer les groupes Betty et Bamileke et tout faire pour mettre dans la tête des citoyens que les ennemis, que leur ennemi est le Bamileke, Did you hear that? That they have to do everything for them to make sure that the Beti people should hate the Bamileke people to another level. And then put in the heads of all the other citizenry of the country that the Bamileke is the enemy. Article 20. Nous sommes conscients de l'évidence que les Bamileke sont le groupe ethnique majoritaire de ce pays. That they know that the Bamileke ethnic group is the majority ethnic group in the entire country. Mais nous devons masquer cette réalité en portant le débat sur le terrain du nombre de groupes ethniques. So they have to downplay that reality. First of all, you know they have been playing on this using the census figures because no census figures in Cameroon are real. They have to do that using the census figures, manipulating the census figures, and then masking it like they say. Mais nous devons masquer cette réalité en portant le débat sur le terrain du nombre de groupes ethniques. There are 250 ethnic groups et fait parler d'un groupe sur plus de 200 qui seul veut dominer les autres. And demonstrate that the Bamileke ethnic group is only one out of over 250 and they are trying to dominate everybody. This is deliberate. I'm talking to the Bamileke folks. While you are there thinking that you are part of a system, you should even pay that they should destroy people who opened their doors for you yesterday. You are simply killing yourselves, shooting yourselves in the leg because you are destroying and you are destroying an opportunity that you will need tomorrow because Ambazonia will be free. You are our neighbors. You may need us tomorrow when you are in torture, but today you are burning the bridges. So people say, oh, maybe don't believe Moja, he may just be, he may just be doing manipulation. No. On that one, I believe Moja. You know why? Because they were dealing with a madman and they never knew it's a madman. It definitely never dawned on them that Moja can come to the public to say that this car like this was bought for me by Bamileke people. They didn't expect that he could do that. But because they are dealing with a lunatic who is a loose cannon, that truth falls out. That's the basic thing. I can write out Moja every other time, but I don't undermine some of the things that he says in relation to the system. Take it from me. They continue. Chaque Camerounais doit voir un suspect en tout Bamileke, of course. That every Bamileke that loiters around anybody, anyone on the territory, should be seen as a suspect, as somebody who is ready to do any kind of thing. Nous perdons le pouvoir le jour où nous arrêtons d'attiser la haine des Camerounais contre les Bamileke. They will lose power. They will lose their grip on the nation. The day they stop fanning ethnic hatred, ethnic hatred against the Bamileke people. Bamileke people, I don't want to come here, but I'm coming here today to educate you so that as you continue providing money to Moja, I'm playing the role of, spies for the gangsters, the dogs of Mr. Pobia in Ambazonia. Know you are shooting yourselves in the leg. Because I'm aware, from the meetings the Bamileke people held, especially in Bamenda, with Lele Lafrique de Benchofo, it is strategic that La République du Cameroun maintain Lele Lafrique as governor in Bamenda. It is not by error. They know he's a Bamileke man. They know the Bamilekes are neighbors. They use him to make sure that he uses the Bamilekes who are many in our area, because there is many Bamilekes that we find everywhere, in every other part, because who are many in our area, that they use them as spies. That is why. And the misguided Bamilekes who have been playing this role, trust me, you have realized that a lot of the times you have made yourself targets. Is La République du Cameroon still saying anything about those who lost their lives in Abango, in Bamenda? No. But when they use them as spies, as telltales, they make you feel that you are a people. You are a bunch of manipulated folks and being manipulated with the notion to being destroyed, and you're thinking that you are considered. They say, nous devons éviter l'émergence d'une figure politique capable d'unir la volonté des Bamileke. Are you surprised? Because they say that they have to do everything to ensure that no single Bamileke man ever emerges who can unite the Bamileke people around their personal interests and objectives. That is why they will take somebody, an idiot like the minister delegate at the Ministry of Justice. What's that his name again? Oh my goodness. Please, can you type me his name there? That's a call himself Maître. L'Empire Banga said that the belly is a Maître. The man who ran for presidential election was very excited that at least he now is among people who count because he had some percentage of the vote. I make him minister delegate at the Ministry of Justice. It is to counter to make sure, and they have taken them. You think that by error that they named Kechakutes at the Ministry of Urban Development and Housing? No, it's the same objective. To use Kechakutes. You think it's an error that they named a Bamileke man as Jean Kwete, as Secretary General of the CPDM? He has no powers. He can do nothing. His Secretary General is named. But they use him to make sure they counter that prospect. Yeah. That's how they had taken Fonangwafo of blessed memory and said he was first national vice president of the CPDM. Just to make sure they use him from the southern Cameroons to counter Mr. Fru Ndi. But until his death, Fonangwafo said several times, even to me, on a one-on-one when I did interviews with him on his farms in Bamenda, while I was associated with Bamenda, that he had sought for audience several times to meet Mr. Paul Biya, the chairman of a party where he is first vice president. He's never succeeded. So all those, they just pick you, fabricate you, and place you there to use you as a counterweight against the aspirations and emergence of your people. That is what they are doing with the Bamilekes, and the Bamilekes are there thinking that their problem is Southern Cameroonians. Empty all your money to fight Southern Cameroonians. The Betty Ekambulu people have you in check. When they will start, you will know where you're coming from. I'm taking this time to say this, to expose this, so the Bamileke people in particular share this video. Share it in all fora that involves Bamileke people. Let them watch. And when this document is out, share it widely. Let them read so they know. And continue doing what they are doing. They say, il faut anéantir tout individu de cette communauté qui osera se mettre en évidence sur le plan politique. That is, destroy, shatter, weaken, break any single Bamileke individual who tries to rise on the political scene. You see why they had to be fighting all of those people, including Kwemo, including all. They will fight them. They will break them. They will shatter them. They say, même s'il faut vexer la communauté internationale. Did you hear that? Même s'il faut vexer la communauté internationale. Even if it gets to the point of annoying the international community, bullshit them. Pay no heed to the international community. That's why they didn't hesitate to capture Maurice Kamto and dump him in jail. Yeah. That's why they didn't hesitate. It didn't mean a thing to them. Until it took Macron to go and free Maurice Kamto. But they say Maurice Kamto wouldn't even know that even France has an engagement with La République du Cameroon to make sure no Bamileke person ever gets to power. But now they had to do that. Then when France helps Kamto to come out, they put Kamto directly at the mercy of France. You have to be grateful to France. Double jeopardy, that's how it is called. Nous devons tuer tout parti politique qui a le soutien des Bamileke. Did you hear that? Of course you know. They had to torture every Bamileke man who was supporting the SDF. The first among them was Kaji de Fosso. They did everything, all kind of redressement financier on Kaji de Fosso, on Yeah, Kaji Defoso, who had Kaji Biya and all of the other companies he had. Because Kaji Defoso in the early days was a big supporter and sponsor of the SDF. They had to make sure, I mean, all the Bamileke business people who were supporting the SDF, they had to put them under tax audit and make them see the prospect of losing their businesses until they had to turn all their support back to the CPDM. Don't think that the people ever got back to the CPDM because they liked it. They were constrained. I mean, they tortured Kaji Defoso right to the point where Kaji Defoso had to do everything to make sure Banner in the West region should become his particular property and handed over to the CPDM. It was not easy for any other political party to operate in Banner as long as Kaji Defoso was alive. C'est nous, nous servirons aussi des traîtres dans leur programme pour les combattre. Did you hear that? That is a role that the useless so-called minister delegate at the Ministry of Justice who says je suis fort aux fesses. That name is Dieudonné who again? Oh gosh, that name is coming and going. The name is coming and going. He even call himself Dieudonné. That is it. That's the role that Kecha Coutez is playing. Because they use Kecha Coutez to fight every other Bamileke man emerging. Like come to all of them, they use them. That's why they try to use the salt and the Fumba. That's how they will make sure that there is never peace between the Fumbanis and the Bamilekes. Oh, my people, let me laugh there. I really have to take this time to talk about this because I like the Bamileke people to understand exactly what is going on. So that while you Bamileke people are there thinking, oh, yeah, let's support the government against Ambazonia, against the Southern Cameroons, you are shooting yourselves in the leg. You are playing into the hands of the Betty hegemony in your country, like Republic of Cameroon, as they are preparing to annihilate you. And they say they are not shy. They are ready to carry out a second Bamileke genocide, even if it means vexing the international community, because they are assured of the French veto at the UN Security Council. Okay. Now, I want to leave the Bamileke people and get to another aspect of this document, which is very important. This is actually where I intended to come to today, but because of that stuff, that thing from Moja Moja, I determined to give myself the pleasure of addressing the Bamileke people so that they know, they have an idea exactly what this is. This is no joke. If you think it's a joke, okay, keep gambling. You will realize before long that this has never been a laughing matter, you Bamileke people. That night, when that long night comes here, you will know exactly where you stand. So let's talk about political elite. What La République du Cameroun says, the elite politique, they have a deliberate approach on handling the lunatics, permit me the word, who call themselves our elite in southern Cameroon, and of course across the entire La République du Cameroun. They have a policy. And so they use these people and set them on collision course with their people to attain the Betty objective. And so, and for the Southern Cameroons to attain their colonial objective on our land. That's what they say de l'élite politique. Nous devrons veiller à ce que l'élite politique des autres soit toujours illégitime. Did you hear that? Nous devrons veiller à ce que l'élite politique des autres soit toujours illégitime. So they have to do everything to ensure that anyone calling himself political elite in Southern Cameroon, in Bamileke land, with the Northeast or whatever, that they are always illegitimate. That's why those that will emerge and be claiming to be elite will be the least popular people. People disconnected from the masses for specific reasons. That you will see right ahead. They say, pour ce faire, nous devons faire admettre que toute personne nommée à un poste de responsabilité représente son groupe ethnique. Did you hear that? Did anyone hear that? that they have to make it evident that any person appointed to any political position or not appointed to any position of responsibility, that was even rather the chief of service, that you are representing your ethnic group, not the state, your ethnic group. That's why they appoint a chief of service. He has to go to the village to do homecoming. They appoint a sub-director. He has to go to the village to make a party and thank President Paul Biya. Somebody becomes a professor. Following many years of studies and articles written here and there, like my brother Mark Bolak, you have to go to one and throw a party to thank Paul Biya that he and look for a means to say he is responsible for Mfunte Mark Bolak becoming a full-blown professor. That is the reason that they have to do everything so that any small thing has become, you are representing your ethnic group. It is not out of merit. It is not because you deserve it. It is not because of what you bring to the table. It's not because of what they expect you to do. No. You are representing your ethnic group. And they go further. They say, mais ne jamais nommer quelqu'un qui a de la sympathie des siens. Did you hear that? Never appoint anyone who is loved by his people. Never. Sounds familiar? Do you not understand why? A man like Atanga Ponji would be the best that Paul Biya would appoint as anything. That's why. That is why a man like Philemon Yang, who sat there at the Prime Minister's office for all those years and never paid attention to anything about his people, will be appointed. That is why a man like Peter Mafani Musonge, who will sit there and think only Bakweri, see people, because it's not hidden. That's why he'll be appointed. And they have to pick only people who are not loved, who are not popular among their people. I'm not the one saying it's on this document. The evidence is too much out there, because I know someone will say, oh, that thing like that, is it not Mbakuro's fertile imagination? You will have it soon. Yeah. So they say, toujours nommer celui qui est détesté par les siens. Always appoint that one whom the people don't want to see, whom the people don't like at all. Always. The reason is simple. So that that particular person will be used to torture his people and will know that he cannot do anything for his people because he owes either him or her, all their allegiance to the system. Only. You will never make any noise that, oh, my people. Which people? Which people are you talking about? They continue. Le cas de nomination de Jean de Dieu Momo. Aha! What Jean de Dieu Momo are talking about. They actually name him. Le cas de nomination de Jean de Dieu Momo et certains délégués de gouvernement, entre autres, sont des applications de ce principe. Good. That appointing people like Jean de Dieu Momo, they did not just name Atanga Ponji, they did not just name Kecha Kutes, they did not just name, all those dancers, all those gesticulators. They did not just name them. The Nalova Lyongas, they did not just name them. The Fru Jonathans, the Fukalisu Gentry, they did not just name them. And these are people who are not popular in their places. So they appoint them for these reasons. They know that Atanga Ponji is the most hated. I'm not saying one of the most hated. Because he is horrible in his attitude and approach towards his people. Yet, that's the man. That's the marked man. You understand? That's what they say here. Sont des applications de ce principe. Article 38. I keep sharing so that you can see. Tout élu devra être illégitime. Tout élu devra être illégitime. Every elected representative, every so-called elected, so elected now is in inverted commas, so the people has to be illegitimate. Does it make some sense? Tout élu devra être illégitime. People need to understand this. I know we are already 1 hour gone into this broadcast. I might even get up to 2 hours today. Because I want each and every one of us to understand this. Spend the time with me here. I'm also sacrificing staying here this long. I ought to be doing something gainful for my personal self and my family. But trust me, there will be no me and my family if Ambazonia, if the southern Cameroons, does not exist. We need to know this and bury this in our heads. So they say tout élu, that's article 38, tout élu devra être illégitime. Pour cela, nous devons, même dans nos propres rangs, même dans nos propres rangs, even among themselves. Did you hear that? That for that reason, even among ourselves, favoriser la victoire du moins populaire afin qu'ils nous doivent sa victoire. Did you hear that? That is for that reason, even among us, the Betty people, we must ensure, do everything to favor the victory that the person who emerges victorious is the least popular, so that they will owe us their victory. They will owe us their position. And they say, il n'existe pas un moyen plus sûr pour obtenir la fidélité. Yeah. There is no sure approach to ensure faithfulness, to ensure allegiance. This should not surprise anyone. You see, recently, the so-called CPDM parliamentarians from the place they call Northwest, that's from the Northern Zone, sat down and casually said, oh, we don't have anything. We are not placed anywhere. We are not going on missions. We don't have any positions. We don't have anything. Who will listen to them? Because we ourselves, we never voted for them. The Betty Kambulu tried to say here, ensure that they are the least popular. All of them are appointees. Therefore, they owe all their allegiance. Their power base is the Ekambulu Betty clan. Therefore, they don't represent you. They don't represent me. They don't speak on our behalf. They can never mobilize us to stand up with them to fight anything that they are fighting for. Because we will constantly fight them. And they will constantly run to the ruling clan because that is where their power base is, not the masses, not their people. Am I right, Mr. Charles Anyere? Am I right, Mr. Ngala Gerard? Am I right? All of you, am I right, Mbelamoki Charles? You all. You are paper. You are featherweight. You are nothing. And they make it clear. They know. It's not like it's something that the pretend come and say I was elected. Elected what? They know it. And that's why they say there is no other way to ensure unalloyed faithfulness. That is why you'll be ready to kill everyone because you owe your political position, so-called representation, to the system. That is why no text has ever been touched anywhere in parliament, except where there were real opposition militants in the early 90s effectively elected and who represented the people. When they spoke, the regime trembled because they knew they could speak and the people would come out. But you, they know that you can't even go to visit your people if they don't send soldiers protecting you. How many of you, those so-called parliamentarians, purportedly elected by your people in southern Cameroons, how many of you can go to your constituencies if you are not moving in armored cars? And now you're even afraid of armored cars. I saw the old Pa Benjamin Itoy, who had been in governance since 1970. Instead of taking his head, I saw him dancing in an armored car, frightened like a terrified cop. That is what they want you to be like. You see, even somebody, a president like Mukete, said they reduced him. He had ideas when he even wrote his book. But what he said, as reviewed by Archbishop Kia and the so-called Grand National Monologue, emanates from what the system wanted him to say. Because he owed his position in the Senate to the system. Do you think his son, Ebako or Isekoko or whoever Mukete, will be different? No. And following the earlier principle, our children will take over from us, our descendants will take over from us. That's what is going on. And so, they go on. Du chef de service, listen well, du chef de service au ministère, on ne doit jamais nommer quelqu'un qui a les soutiens politiques non fabriqués par nous-mêmes. Did you hear that? Du chef de service au ministère. That's from chief of service in every government ministry. Never ever appoint any person who has political backing not fabricated by them. That will not owe 100% allegiance. That's why some of us who operate in that system until for 19 years and leave without holding any position because we refused to be subjected to this. Once they know you have public backing, they will break you, frustrate you, grind you. Am I right, my brother Elum Porche? If you go back down to the base, would they say Elum is the best? All of those elite will be fighting against each other. Fighting against each other, all of them. Nobody will really be in good terms with the other. So right from the rank of chief of service. But do you know what the regulations for the public service code says? That right up to the rank of secretary general, in normal circumstances, you are not supposed to be an active politician. That's how public services in every country are. Public services should not be politicized. But you are hearing from their strategic document, from the rank of chief of service. Chief of service. Not so, don't even gamble. They are not joking. So, my people, I want now to demonstrate to each and every one of us how this has been in operation. You know, Mr. Ni John Fru Ndi, the venerated Ni John Fru Ndi, I will use this word over and over because I know we've had our apprehensions about how things happen in the later days and all of those things, but nobody can take it from Mr. Fru Ndi. Nobody. And the system knew and they followed this principle. They knew that Fru Ndi was very popular and poor Biya could go mad because of that. That's why when they decreed the state of emergency in 1992, you see, Bamenda people, with Bamileke people who came from the west, with the people from the southern zone, from Biya, from Libya, who came in from the southern zone, everybody took turns to guard Fru Ndi's residence. That is not a thing Biya can swallow. And for years, decades, they fought hard to make sure to make Fru Ndi unpopular. It never worked because every other election cycle, when Fru Ndi went out, they saw the crowds, it could give them insomnia. I recall once talking with Professor F.M. Wafo, and this was, I think, in 2004. 2004. When there was an election and they were like, when they came, they saw Fru Ndi went out, they had done all sorts of things. They knew that Fru Ndi has his popularity was already dead. But when Fru Ndi went out, they saw the crowds in Bafoussam, in Bamenda, in Limbe, in Kumba, in Bafoussam. They were like, this man, there is something about this man. They looked for a formula for years to break him down. They must cut you off from your people, isolate you so that they are able to deal with you. Once they cut you off from your people, that is when you are finished. And unknowingly, we all scream, me here, yours truly inclusive. At that time I was still at CRTV. 2010, people have been clamoring, oh, Fru Ndi and Biya should meet and discuss the future of this country. They should meet. Mr. Biya resisted for years because they were looking for the formula. And finally, they got what should be the formula. And in the country, a lot of people were excited until I recall that we published an article on the cover page of Timescape magazine at the time with the picture of Biya shaking hands with Fru Ndi, and we called it, the title was Brushing Off the Clusters of Tongues. We were excited at that, but we did not know. Because this is actually the day that they got the formula on Mr. Fru Ndi. This way.
Mr. Chairman, morning. How are you? I am happy to meet you today. 20 years.
When you look at all those people with Fru Ndi inside this picture, inside this video, who were shaking hands with Mr. Paul Biya, almost all of them are dead. You have seen Barrister, there's other name I'm actually forgetting. I don't know why these names are going off my mind. Barrister Sanga is there. You have seen Honorable, let's go back there. You have seen Honorable Banazem, Bandam. In fact, all of those people, they are all gone. All of them, they are gone, including Fru Ndi himself. So, as you can see, while the people were out there celebrating, oh, this is good. I mean, the two people have met now. They will try to thaw the political atmosphere, and it was celebrated that Fru Ndi had gone there. He'll be able to influence Biya to bring out political reform, to reform the electoral system and all of those things. While this meeting was going on, the CPDM's strategic plan was in operation. The Ekang Bulu Beti clan strategic plan was in operation. What did they do? Mr. Fru Ndi, Mr. Biya had not even left Bamenda. That newspapers in La République du Cameroon interviewing Atanga Ponji were already saying that he, Atanga Ponji, handed to Mr. Fru Ndi a briefcase with 30 million CFA given by Paul Biya to share with the parliamentarians who came, to share with his delegation, and that Fru Ndi disappeared the money. This had wide media coverage. Wide media coverage. And so the focus for the press was not that two enigmatic political leaders have met and they could thaw the political atmosphere in the country and try to return the country to real correct development rule. That is to policy oriented management. No! The focus was on Fru Ndi at this meeting received a bag of money, and so Fru Ndi had to spend the rest of his time with the SDF trying to justify and argue that this was untrue. Did you hear that? Atanga Ponji, who was already minister delegate at the presidency and Paul Biya's errand boy, was everywhere, visible all over the place, and they could see him with Biya a lot of the times. It was deliberate. So when he told his story that no, they gave Fru Ndi a briefcase with 30 million. That is how gradually news started going everywhere. Oh no, Fru Ndi don't chop the old Maggie. I want you to watch. I said this was 2010. 2010. And there will be a presidential election in 2011. Go and look at the result. Look at what Fru Ndi scored. There will be a presidential election in 2011. This was 2010. Just 1 year after. Because after this, Mr. Fru Ndi's wife, late Marius Fru Ndi, First sick, needed intervention. The government quickly, hurriedly, boom, agreed to evacuate her abroad. And they made sure to make public the amount of money that was spent and how the money was channeled to Fru Ndi. All of these things were meant to do what? Delegitimize, break Fru Ndi's following, break his backing and everything. And now, at every other event at the Unity Palace in Yaoundé, everything was done to make sure Fru Ndi would be there and very conspicuous on cameras. And each meeting, the information that will be circulating everywhere will be bags of money were changing hands. Gradually, and they started eroding. Mr. Fru Ndi eroded until before long, Mr. Fru Ndi realized that he was becoming gradually a political featherweight. That is in continuation of the policy enshrined here. With all your good intentions, what you're facing. This is why, folks, I say it here and I repeat tremendously. Avoid any form of association with La République du Cameroon. Those people never have our good at heart. No. Never. That's what they did to Fru Ndi. I mean, gradually, every time, they even fabricated an accident for Fru Ndi at Obala and quickly sent him another car, a Prado, and then said, oh, they gave him plus 500,000, 500 million. Next thing, when late Barrister Ben Muna of blessed memory told that he wanted to be candidate for CPD in 2004, they already started playing games, did everything. They caused the occasion, the death of an ex-military in Yaoundé, and they sued Mr. Fru Ndi, and they started to make him mirror that he could go to prison for that, and they unleashed what is called the rouleau compressor. That is, they were squeezing and grinding, attracting compromise, eroding gradually. Time. Today, the SDF is a shadow of itself. They got us right to that place, squeezed things out of Fru Ndi, right to that place where Fru Ndi had to be completely cut off from his people, left Bamenda, and found himself at the start of this liberation movement. All those who were the early bird activists in this liberation movement who were running away from Bamenda, all of us passed through Fru Ndi's residence. All of us took refuge at least at Fru Ndi's residence, even for one day. Fru Ndi was a man of the movement. But they had a lot to use in blackmailing him. That 1 minute he speaks to condemn their actions and expose things, the next minute he turns to speak to condemn even the aspirations of the people. Until this is the day he was ended. This is the day they finished with him. This is the day they landed the final blow. This was a very embarrassing, disgraceful image for the people of Ambazonia, for the people of the Southern Cameroon.